All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Community Involvement for Professional Growth. A little bit about me real quick. Paul Woodward Jr., you can find me on Twitter at ExploreVM. You can find me explorevm.com, the ExploreVM podcast. You can see the branding across there. That's part of the whole social aspect. Much like a lot of you, I've got a pile of certifications. And Tech Field Day delegate, again, more community involvement, as well as professionally, I'm a systems engineer with Presidio, data center focus. So what are we here to chat about for the next few minutes? What I've discovered is being involved in the community, doing events like vMugs, doing these vBrownBag talks, it has definitely yielded positive results for my career. I've been able to make great connections, I've been able to learn new things, and it's helped me find jobs. Case in point, quick little story. A couple years back, I was part of a downsizing event at my previous employer. And after taking a weekend to just, relax and unwind, I sent out this tweet on that Monday. And I said, hey, hitting the market. If anybody looks, looking for a data center guy, let me know. Within 15 minutes of that tweet going out, I got a message from one of my Twitter followers that I had actually been communicating with before I even got into the field of IT. I interviewed him for my blog years before this, and he said, you know what, I've been following you, your growth, your career for a couple of years now. Well, we've got an open data center position. Why don't we have you interview for it? All right, cool. Within a week, I had a job offer from that company, and I was unemployed for less than a month. I signed, well, I guess exactly a month. I signed an offer letter a month to the day from the point when I was let go. So staying out there in the community is great to help you find a job. But what are the other benefits of doing this? I mentioned oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. I had mentioned Tech Field Day, and that is an awesome event put on by Gestalt ID where people like delegates, bloggers are brought from around the globe to vendors to meet with their top-level executives, their top-level engineers, and actually dive deep technically into the product. So it gives you a front-row view to these products. And with that, I can take that back to my current employer, and I can say, hey, I met with company XYZ. Their CEO seemed impressive. This is what their product is doing, and we got to meet the engineering team that founded the company and really learn the ins and outs of that product. We should probably be looking at that. So it can help you bring in new products for your current employer. As I said, I work for a VAR, so it helps me find new ways to help our clients. And also, doing the blogging, doing the social media work, it does get you these experiences. I don't want to say trips, but experiences where you can go and you go to Silicon Valley or you go to the East Coast and you tour these companies. And you can get invited to vendor events, and it really helps you expand your personal reach. So a few different tips here. It's obviously, staying involved in the community is huge. The vMug community here, there's a lot of, I can't speak words today. There is a lot of awesome folks who will help you grow, who will help you learn if you just ask. And even just sitting quietly in the background listening to conversations, you're going to pick up a lot of stuff. Build your personal brand. It's a lot more important than you think. With the personal brand, like I said at ExploreVM, I've got that everywhere. People have walked up to me that I've never met before and introduced themselves like, oh, hey, Paul, I follow you on Twitter. I'm like, oh, cool. And they know more about me than I'm surprised that they know because I'm out there, I'm building this brand. It's a good creative outlet. It's a little bit different than your day-to-day building tech, building, your data center stuff or whatever you're working on. And you can choose to be, blog on whatever topic you want. I also podcast. Podcasts are really starting to expand in the, especially the virtualization world. I personally like that because it's a little bit easier than writing, editing, and publishing a post. You can just have a conversation with somebody and get that out there and share it with the world. I've had a few people comment on my podcasts that it's really helped them, and it feels good to hear that what you're doing is helping people. Give back to the community that helped you grow. I spent a few years going to vMugs long before I ever sat behind one of these podiums. just taking it all in, learning. And I finally said, you know what, this community has benefited me so much, I need to be up there and speaking. And that first time, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't terrified. But since then, it gets easier and easier. The people that come to these events aren't here to crush you. They're not here to destroy your technical knowledge. They're here to learn just like you are. And a lot of them are folks who've never spoken at these events, or they want to help themselves grow. In my sessions, I like to involve a lot of community, a lot of conversations amongst the crowd. And that helps just lighten the mood. And I tell people, like, I'm not a true expert. I don't think any of us in this room are. If you hear me say something wrong, please let me know. Or if you've got an example that better suits, like, let's chat. This is a community. We are all here to help each other out. Keep an eye on where the technology is going. With that, I started, when I was going to college, I was a Windows Server guy. Active Directory, Exchange, your day-to-day operations. Then I stumbled upon this class on emerging technologies in data center, and it was a VMware 101 course. And that blew my mind. And just seeing what VMware can do and seeing what the products can do and how you can take an entire server room's worth of equipment and put it into one rack or one node even, it was just mind-blowing. But as we are all well aware, public cloud is becoming a thing. I still focus quite a bit on VMware, but I also do a bunch with Amazon and with Azure and GCP and a few of the other cloud offerings. You've got to keep yourself ahead of the curve and seeing what's actually going on within the community, because you can listen to the pundits, you can listen to the bloggers, as I say this as a blogger, and where they claim things are going. But when you talk to Ken at the vMug and say, so what are you guys actually doing? Or, hey, are you doing anything with cloud? They're like, yeah, but it's this. Or you actually get a feel for what people are doing. Always continue to learn, train, and certify. I know not everybody can keep up with certifications. Not every employer values it. In my case, in Avar, we love certifications because it helps us prove to potential clients that we do have the expertise behind it. But even if your company does not support or pay for certifications, I find that they are an amazing way to help grow whether it be your existing field, or if you want to learn something new, you start to look at the training materials and then you start to prep for the certification. I've picked up a couple of things just by going, you know what, yeah, we don't really do that, but I think that's going to be something fun to learn about. And it turns out, because I had that experience, we were able to now sell that as a product. So it just helped me get ahead of the curve. And one more thing is help your coworkers thrive. I think we've all worked with that coworker in IT who's, I'm smarter than you, he sits in the corner, he doesn't talk to anybody, you never see him, and you want help, and I keep saying he, but they don't give it. And that's almost poisonous to an IT organization. Some of the best teams and the best organizations I've worked for had coworkers who would, if you had, say I broke something, they would come help me fix it, and then, we'd look at why it broke. Or if I'm stuck and I'm like, okay, I've never seen this before, I can get that help. I had many mentors at different positions, different companies, that helped me grow my skill set, and I've made amazing leaps and bounds because I've had those mentors. So once if you've got that mentor at work, that's great. If you look around and you realize nobody's doing it, step up. Become that mentor. Take what you've learned at these events, at these vMugs from watching vBrownBag, and take that and bring that back to your coworkers. Help them grow. Help them strive. I believe that there's a few different quotes on this. The one that I think of most is Chris Wall quoted it in one of his podcasts, is iron sharpens iron. We all help each other. It's not, I'm going to help you and you're going to take my job. It's, we're going to do this job better. Because honestly, IT is a component of the business. As much as we want to sit there and play with all the fun things, the new technologies, IT is a component of the business, and we need the business to succeed. And we're not going to do that by fighting each other or not helping each other out. And one final little bit here about community involvement. Virtual Design Master. This is a little bit different. This is an online design competition ran by Angela Luciani, Eric Wright, and Melissa Palmer, that it's almost like a weekly mini VCDX. That you are given, you sign up, you're given a challenge, and you're given 5 days to design a solution, write it out in a full document, submit it for judging, and then you are brought online to a live, live online judging show to defend your design against a panel of experts. The last season they had 3 VCDXs as the judges, so there was no, nothing was held back. And when I signed up, my whole goal was to not go out first. I was like, I'm going to try this because I want to get more into design and more into, architecture. And much to my surprise, I ended up finishing 3rd out of 14 international competitors. And through this, I've met amazing people. I've improved my skills. I was introduced to technologies that I'd never even heard of before. I was at the VM World right after my season ended, and I'm on the tram going to the conference, and somebody's like, hey, Virtual Design Master. I'm like, hey, again, people recognize you, and you make these connections. And I think we can all agree that making connections is one of the one of the best things you can do to help your career and help just your skill set. And on that note, if there's any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to me. Any resources, I've got a lot of information on my blog at explorevm.com. All of my previous decks, I'm always available out there. If anyone wants to chat, if anyone needs help becoming a mentor, finding a mentor, anything, do not hesitate to reach out to me. And I'd like to say thank you for your time.
Yes.